This is my home studio and I'm giving you a tour today. As a thank you for hitting 2,000 subscribers on this channel, I figured I'd take you guys around the room that I've been making most of these videos from. I've had like 2-3 different setups in my life, and this one by far is just my favorite setup. So I'm super excited to show you guys. Let's jump into it. So starting off with the elephant in the room, I feel like it's only right because I started playing drums when I was 9 years old. I'm about to be 23 in a couple months here. You guys do the math, 12, 13, how many years is that? 9. Shit, it's almost about to be 14 years. Okay, so like 13, 14 years. But yeah, started playing drums. These are not the original drums that I started playing on. I actually had a sound percussion drum kit. I think I have a picture somewhere. I'll try to throw it up on screen. I started on those drums, and then a couple years down the road when I started getting serious about it, I got these Pearl Jet Black Export Series drums, and I've had them ever since. I got them because of the videos that I used to watch. The drumming videos were from Casey Cooper. Got this kit because of him, had it ever since, and I love it so much. Also with these drums right here, we've got these soul tone cymbals that I got when I had my A-Rod Drummer channel. This is laser engraved. My logo is on these cymbals, each and every one. I got 2 crash cymbals, 16-inch I think, and then 18-inch. I think this is 20 or 21-inch ride, and then 14-inch hi-hats. But yeah, sick little logo engraving on all of these. I have like a whole unboxing video on that channel of just me opening these cymbals, but I remember the day I got them. It was like right during lockdown, like of COVID, and I was so stoked. You have to apply to get access to buy these cymbals. I found out about this brand because of Matt McGuire. When I started watching his videos, I think he was playing these cymbals. He was just a YouTube drummer, and now he's actually the drummer for the Chainsmokers, which is super cool. But yeah, fun little story about these awesome looking cymbals. I know I've covered these in the past, but just to talk about the mics that are on the drum kit for my overheads, I have the Audio-Technica AT2050s, stereo pair, large diaphragm condenser microphones. And then on the snare, I have the Shure SM57, which is a classic snare mic. And just because I have another one and I don't have another mic for the kick, I've got another Shure SM57 for my kick drum right here. I got these microphones because, believe it or not, when I was going to school at Berkeley, these were on my school supplies list. Not these specific microphones, but I needed 2 large diaphragm condenser mics and 2 dynamic microphones. So I picked these 2. And yeah, shout out to Berkeley because I had to get some badass new gear. So super fun times over there. And while we're on the topic of microphones, this right here is the first microphone that I ever got, not for school. It's the Audio-Technica 2040, I believe. It's another large diaphragm condenser microphone. I got this one to just record just random things. I didn't have a good microphone at the time. Back in the day on my old videos, I was using a very cheap condenser mic that I don't even know what brand it was. But yeah, this is the first serious upgrade of a mic that I bought, and I have nothing but great things to say about it. I think I got it for like $200, $225, something like that. It's gone up in price, I know that, but great microphone right here. I have this mic set up right next to my desk sometimes just in case I want to record things like my auxiliary percussions or just some vocals that I'm hearing, like vocal chop melodies. I like to have it kind of set up on its own little stand with the pop filter ready to go. That way all I have to do is plug it in to my interface and record what I have in mind. So the next thing we can get into is my guitar rack that's just to the left of my desk. So anytime I'm producing and want to add guitar, it's within arm's reach right here, anything that I want. So this guitar right here is a very old acoustic nylon string guitar. I think it's a hand-me-down from one of my cousins. I don't play it that often, but just in case I wanted to record this sound, I have it right here as an option. Fun fact about this guitar, actually, I recorded a crappy beat a long time ago, maybe my first year of producing with this guitar. Very crappy melody, didn't know how to play guitar, but I made a beat out of it, and it's the first ever beat that I sold. Shout out to Lunar Row, I think is the artist name. I will play the beat, like a little snippet, so you guys can hear.
Brothers on watch like who that got the pack in my preem book bag.
But yeah, this is responsible for the first ever beat cell that I made. So that's pretty cool. The next one we got on the rack is this very nice upgrade compared to that guitar. It's a Mitchell acoustic guitar. I believe it's got a concert body, if that's what it's called, which means it's just a little like thinner than most big body acoustic guitars. But this thing, I mean, this thing just looks beautiful. I love the way this looks. And it's another thing that I bought while I was at school. I didn't need to, but I was taking a guitar class and I only had an electric guitar. So I wanted to roll around with an acoustic like all the other cool kids. So I went and picked this up. This was like $400 or $500. Not a bad price tag for the way this thing sounds. It sounds amazing. The next guitar I have on the rack is my very, very, very nice white on white Fender Stratocaster. If I could pick one guitar when I was little to have, it was gonna be a Fender Stratocaster. And when I was younger, I watched Drake and Josh all the time, so I wanted the red on white. But as I got older and I got enough money to buy one, actually, this white on white one would just always look at me when I walked into Guitar Center. So one day I finally walked out with it and I do not regret it at all. This thing sounds amazing, looks amazing, plays amazing. It just inspires me to pick up the guitar more, and it definitely has led me to pick up the guitar more. I've learned so much on this thing and that acoustic right there. But yeah, nothing but great things obviously to say about the Fender Strat. And then lastly right here, this is my first and only bass that I've ever had. I bought this a couple years ago. It's a Squire bass, very cheap, but I wanted something to have. I wanted something to learn on. And yeah, it's blue and black. I love blue. Blue's my favorite color. And I play it in most of my videos, especially recently. I've learned a lot on it. I'm still learning a lot on it. But yeah, really cool instrument addition to the studio. Behind the rack right here, I actually have a guitar amp. There's one more guitar, actually my first ever guitar that I have, but it's at my girlfriend's house right now. It's a red Lion. It's the same brand as the amp actually. Is it Lion or Lion? Lyon. But yeah, I got that guitar when I was like maybe 7 years old for Christmas. I was like way too small to even play it, so it kind of just sat and did nothing in my room for years and years and years. And then I got into music production and I kind of fixed it up. It doesn't play the best, but it's just another guitar, and it came with this amp. And I don't record this amp, but I have a little amp. I should try to record this one day. It could be cool. But yeah, that's my guitar rack. And also, before I forget, I have this ukulele right here. It sits on my wall over there, but it's mostly for decoration. I think I bought this thing and played it once. I have too big of fingers for this type of instrument. Right next to my guitar rack, I have my DJ corner kind of set up over here. This DJ controller is the Newmark NS4 FX. I bought this one as an upgrade from the first one that I had. It was the Pioneer DDJ 400, I believe, the super beginner one that like everyone learns on. And then next to it, I have my speakers for my gigs. Whenever I have quinceañeras or just private events, I set up those speakers and I DJ. I had kept the box because I wasn't gonna buy a case for this thing. This is a perfect case. But yeah, if you didn't know that about me, I am a DJ. I learned how to do it during COVID just because I was already messing with the music production thing and I was curious about how DJing worked, so I figured why not try that out and learn how to do it. And I'm so glad that I did because I get some pretty good gigs out of it and it pays some of my bills. So thankful for that. I forgot to show you this stuff earlier when we were talking about my drums, but since I'm starting to move over to this area right here, I figured I would show you guys my auxiliary percussions. I have a tambourine right here. Very, very loud. I don't remember when I bought this, but I bought it just to have it. When I bought that, I don't remember buying this stuff, but I think I got these around the same time. Maybe I ordered it on Amazon, but these are just little egg shakers. I just used these in a beat earlier today, but yeah, they come in super handy when you just want something live, some extra percussions to just throw in a song or a beat. But yeah, those are those. And then these right here, this is a second snare drum. I think it's the same dimensions as the one that I have over there. It's a hand-me-down from, I don't even remember who, somebody I went to school with. I think I just took it because why not? I mean, it gives you, I could have it tuned differently than the one that I have over there, and I could get a different sound without having to crank up and down one snare drum. But yeah, I have this just in the arsenal whenever I need it. This one I actually got for Christmas 2 years ago, and I was super excited about this. This is the Piccolo snare short fuse from Pearl. It's got like a matte black finish to it, so it kind of matches my drums over there, but this is definitely a thinner drum if you can't tell. It gives you more crack and just like a higher pitched type of sound. It's a very dry drum, which I really like. Useful for like soulful hip hop, R&B type of drums. And yeah, I've been having a lot of fun playing with this. And then this one is a 13-inch. This is a 13-inch tom, I believe. I think it goes 12, 13, 16 on my kit. But yeah, this came with my kit. My kit is actually a 5-piece, I believe. But I don't play this one just because I like the one up, one down setup I've got going on. And then I have my ride where this thing would go. But if I ever need it, I've got it right here. The last thing in my percussion department of the studio is actually what I'm sitting on. If you don't know what this is, it's called a cajon. It's basically a drum, acoustic drum, all-in-one sound. You get a bass sound down here. Hold on, let me put this down. You get a bass sound down here, and then up here are actually snare wires. So you kind of have like a kick and snare that you can just carry around with you, and it's super, super cool. I'm very rusty. I've not played this thing in a long time. But super, super fun instrument. It's a hand percussion type of thing. It's almost like bongos if you think about it. This is another thing that has gotten me gigs in the past, and I'm glad that I learned how to play it. So before we get into all the cool, crazy gear over here, I'm saving that for last if you couldn't tell. Let's talk about the wall of vinyls and just the different vinyls that I have all around my studio room, because over the years on any platform that I've been posting on, in any room that I've been in since I got my first vinyl, which is the Juice WRLD Legends Never Die one, I've gotten so many comments on them, so let's talk about it. So this is the main wall right here. There's 20 on the wall, and then I have one over there, 4 on that acoustic panel, which we'll talk about later actually. 2 right here, and then 2 on the dartboard up there. But yeah, like I said earlier, the first one that I ever got was the middle one right here, the Juice WRLD Legends Never Die. I was so inspired by that album. That was really the first album that I can like associate with music production and just like wondering how beats were made. That vinyl started the whole collection that you see on the wall right here and just throughout my studio room. I'm gonna get close up to each one of these so I can just kind of show you guys which ones I have. Jack Harlow I got in Boston. 21 Pilots was one of the first ones that I got, I think, for Christmas, along with the Foo Fighters. Actually, I think I got these 2 for Christmas together. This Tate McRae LP, which is actually, yes, it is signed. I am a super Tate McRae day oneer. Moving on, the Justice album, which is like all red. It's not usually like that, but I thought it was fire. Harry's House, probably one of my favorite albums when it came out, like at the time. It still smacks. I listened to so many songs off of that album. Billy's When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? 10 out of 10 album. If I can tell you what a perfect album sounds like, I would probably point to that. I listened to it for the first time on an airplane and I literally felt like I was floating, because I was. Sour by Olivia Rodrigo, for obvious reasons, great album. In the middle column we have all the Juice WRLD albums except for The World on Drugs with Future, and the most recent one, Party Never Ends. I really need that one on this wall. Over here we've got Dro Kenji's first album, I believe. This album was fire. Dro Kenji was a fire artist when he came out. I was super, super into him when he first came out because of these guys right here. If you don't know who Internet Money is, they're a collective of producers who back in the day ran YouTube. Like when I was first getting into it, they were pumping out all the producer how-tos. Nick was going live making all of Juice WRLD's bangers and Lil Tecca's bangers. Super fun times in the producer community online. But yeah, shout out Internet Money, Before the Storm. Astro World, another probably 10 out of 10 with Billy over here. here, I loved Astroworld. People can go ahead and disagree with me. Y'all are crazy. This right here is probably the most controversial vinyl that I have on my wall. MGK's Tickets to My Downfall. I personally loved the album. Is it the best rock album ever made? Absolutely not. Is it even close? Absolutely not. And I don't care. I love the way that this album sounds, and I personally believe that he did a lot for the rock community, just in terms of like mainstream. He got one of the most iconic rock band drummers from one of the most iconic bands in history, Travis Barker, to play up and down this project and help co-produce it. Travis Barker used to play for Blink-182 back in the day. Great album. I don't care what you guys say. Dr. Dre's 2001 and the Chronic album. Dr. Dre is an iconic producer. I had to cop these when I saw them in person. J. Cole's The Fall Off album. This album, I was very late to the game with J. Cole. I obviously knew the hits and stuff, but this album is what really got me into the sound of J. Cole and to become a forever fan. Eminem's The Eminem Show. His vinyls are so expensive for some reason. I mean, obviously he's the GOAT, but this was one of the cheapest ones that I could find in person, and so I got it when I was in Boston. Over here on this acoustic panel with my Funko Pops and my Stranger Things Gatorade, we've got SOS by SZA. Great album right there. Over here on the opposite end, we have Chromacopia by Tyler. Amazing, phenomenal album. I really loved that album when I first heard it. And then we've got Missy Elliott's Under Construction album. This album really introduced me to the whole like Timbaland sound. I could not stop listening to it and just studying it when I first heard it, and yeah, I had to get it on vinyl when I saw. Over here on my dartboard, we have two country albums. I think they're the only country albums that I have in my whole collection. Morgan Wallen's Double album is just top to bottom one of the best country albums to ever exist. And then Zach Bryan's album over here, which my brother got for me. And then right behind me, right in front of my desk area on this acoustic panel, I have some of my favorite albums on vinyl. You guys don't really get to see these on camera in these videos, but I'm gonna show you them right now. We've got the OG cover art of Fuck Love from the Kid Laroi, which is the first. Before this even dropped, I heard Tell Me Why, and I was like, man, this guy is dope. I love the Kid Laroi. He's probably my favorite artist that's out right now. So I had to get his first album. This is the deluxe cover. I didn't get the original one, but I ordered the deluxe on vinyl. These two right here, these two albums just made me the biggest Laroi fan ever. It's my dream to work with him. So manifesting it, just having it on this little acoustic panel in front of my desk. I get to look at it every single day, along with my second most desired collab. This is Tate McRae's first studio album, Think Later, and then the newest one, So Close to What. I have these here, not because they dated. These genuinely are two of my favorite pop artists, I guess you can call them, just to use like as a blanket term. But in terms of like who I would love to work with and collaborate with in the future, these two artists right here. I'm manifesting it by keeping it right in front of me where I work every single day. Great albums, huge fans of both of them. So that's my vinyl collection. I don't think I've ever broken it down in a video before, all of them. I think there's 29 or 30. You guys can count for me and let me know. But yeah, that's my full vinyl collection. Now for the part I'm sure most of you guys have been waiting for, the desk area over here. This is where all the magic happens, all of the stuff in the box. This is the stuff that you guys are used to seeing in all of my videos, and we're gonna start over here with the tape machines. These tape machines, I got them from my grandpa. My dad's dad gave both of these machines to me. My grandpa was in the Air Force, and I think it was this one. One of these is from where he was stationed at in Turkey. Super sentimental to me just because my grandpa gave them to me. Super grateful that he let me have them. I used to just mess with all of like his stuff when I was a kid, and these were some of the things that I would mess with. And when I became a music producer, I just figured I should have these in my studio. So I asked him and he was like, absolutely. So underneath these tape machines, I have a new addition. Actually, you might have seen it in recent videos. I haven't used this in a video just because I think it's out of tune, but it's an old Casio synth, Casio Tone MT205. But yeah, my grandpa had this when I was little. I would always mess with this thing. It's got speakers on it, so didn't have to be plugged in or anything. You would just flip the switch on, and it's got like a drum machine. You can program different sounds. It's got all these little synth sounds over here. And yeah, I would always just mess with it when I was a kid. But I wanted to have this a part of my studio. This is kind of just like my old school, like vintage setup over here to the right of my desk. But yeah, super glad that I got my hands on this for my studio as well. Keeping up the theme with the old school vintage vibes, I just showed you guys this in a recent video, the Tascam Porto Studio Mini 3 cassette recorder. I've got a cassette right here, an actual cassette. I bought this off of Amazon so I could use this machine, which I bought from a antique shop here in town. But yeah, I explained why I got this. I've used it a few times and I love the sound that you get from it. It's just super fun to mess with, all the mechanics and stuff, and you get a great sound out of it. Also on this little shelf area is my first monitor that I ever had, but when I upgraded to this one over here on my desk, I made this my secondary monitor so I can record my screen while working over here or just have a YouTube video up while I'm doing some work on my computer over here. Dual monitor setup, super fun. But yeah, that's my little shelf on the side of my desk, my little side desk, whatever. Now let's get into the desk. Something I completely forgot to talk about while I was recording this video was the desk itself. I built this desk with my dad almost 6 years ago, which is insane. It's very messy down there, my bad. There's just a leg kit that we bought on Amazon for like 40 bucks, I think. And then these two pieces of wood were probably about the same price. Super thin, but it's held up all these years. I've got this second layer just sitting on these books that I had lying around as a kid so I could slide my MIDI keyboard underneath and I can have my speakers and monitor elevated. But yeah, that's the desk that I built and I want a new one really badly. So subscribe to the channel. Starting off with the brains of this whole operation, this is my M1 MacBook. I believe I got this 4 or 5 years ago. I've been wanting an excuse to upgrade so I can get the black color that they just got, but I literally cannot say anything bad about this thing. It still runs like crazy. Great laptop to have, great computer to have. Can't say anything bad about it. As much as I want a new one, I hope this thing never dies on me. This right here, I recently got earlier last year. I believe it was like a year ago. This is this SanDisk 4TB SSD. Do not get mechanical external drives. Get an SSD because you will drop it or something will happen to it. Those things have a lot of moving parts, the mechanical ones, and they will mess up. It's happened to me before. This thing is a tank. It's very small and compact, which is nice to travel with compared to the other big stuff that just take up so much room in your backpack and inevitably break over time. Super happy I got this thing. My gaming mouse right here and my wireless knockoff keyboard from Amazon. This is the knockoff version of the wireless Mac. Super lightweight, but this is like 20 bucks off of Amazon compared to like the $100 actual Apple one. But yeah, that's my keyboard and mouse right there. This is my other keyboard, my MIDI keyboard. Cool story about this MIDI keyboard right here. Before I even started producing or knew what that was, I wanted to learn piano, but I didn't want to buy a $300 or $400 keyboard. So I bought this little keyboard because I thought it was just a smaller, cheaper keyboard, which it is, but it's a MIDI controller and not just one that you turn on like that one and you just like play or whatever. So this is not what you buy when you're trying to learn piano, but that's what I bought. And I was like, why do I have to download this program so I can hear sound out of it? That's kind of weird, but whatever. The program was Ableton, which I think I talked about in this video right here, or whichever corner. I had Ableton on my computer way before I even knew what production was. I thought Ableton was the program that you were like able to hear this piano out of. Stupid, but that's how I got my first DAW on my computer. And when I started looking more into production, I was like, oh wait, I have one of these programs already. I can start doing this if I want to today. So cool little story with that MIDI keyboard. I've never bought a new one, even though there's so many good ones out there that I could upgrade from. I like this one and it's got a cool story to it. So that's my MIDI keyboard. The last thing on the first row of my desk is the Chroma console. I told you guys I got this a couple months ago for Christmas. I love this thing. This thing is awesome for literally any genre. Hip hop, pop, rock. I've made so many different types of beats, you wouldn't even believe it if I told you. This thing has so many different effects and combinations that you can put together to just create some of the craziest sounds and effects for anything that you run into it. I still don't know how to use this thing to its full potential. I've watched so many videos on it, and every time I watch another one, there's just something new that I learn. This little thing is probably the coolest thing that I've bought in terms of gear. So yeah, Chroma console by Hologram. I love this thing. And finally, for the last little bits on my desk right here, let's talk about the interface. This is the Focusrite Claret Plus 4 Pre. I don't know if that will focus. This is a 4-channel interface. I've had this for a few years. I bought it right before I left to Boston, and I love this thing. This thing is awesome. However, it is limited to 4 channels, like I said, and then there's only a few. I don't want to expose my poor cable management, but as you can tell right there, there's only a few ins and outs. And as I'm adding more bits and pieces to my studio of outboard gear, and I want to eventually be able to hook up so many drum mics to record my full kit, this thing is definitely limiting. So I'm gonna have to look into upgrading this. As much as I do like the sound of it and as much as it served me, it might be coming to an end in my studio. But yeah, great product, great little interface, great upgrade from what I had. I believe I had the PreSonus audio box, which is only a 2-channel. So next we can talk about my speakers. These are the Yamaha HS5s, the white pair. I love these speakers so much. If I were to upgrade from these speakers, it would literally just be to either the 7s or the 8s. I love mixing on these. I love making beats on them. They give me an honest response in my opinion, and they're just really great for my room. This monitor right here was my upgrade, like I said earlier, from this one. This one I believe is a 24-inch monitor, and then this one's 27. This one only was capable of 1080p, and this one is a 4K monitor. So this is perfect for like the editing that I do, because my videos, I shoot them in 4K and the colors are just better on here than that. That's why this is the main monitor and that is now the secondary monitor. And finally, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about in this video are these acoustic panels right here. This is really the reason why I give this room so much praise and respect for being an actual studio. I built these with my grandpa, not the grandpa that gave me these. I built these with my mom's dad, and I really wish I took videos of us and just documented that process. We built these from scratch. We put these together and they did wonders for this room. I really wish, like I said, I documented the process so I could have shown you guys what it sounded like in here before and with these afterward. But yeah, loved putting these things together. I'm gonna show you guys up close just a little bit of them and try to explain what we did. I can't remember the dimensions on any of these, but we built 3 of these rectangular acoustic panels, and then we built 2 corner bass traps that aren't on the wall. They run all the way to the floor. I just angled them to where they just kind of wedge in each of the corners. I put this rectangular one sideways so that it could cover the backs of my speakers a little bit. Just kind of keeps the bass from building up within the wall and having it bounce back off the wall into my ears when I'm listening to it from my desk. But yeah, we made the frame out of wood board right here. I can't remember what kind of insulation I put. I just got some from Lowe's, I believe. I put that inside and then we put like a little net over it, and then we wrapped the whole thing with some fabric from Hobby Lobby, and we did that for each one of these. And then I mounted these rectangular ones on the wall, and then like I said earlier, the bass trap is running up from the floor because those were just extremely big. I wasn't gonna put that much stress on the wall. Neither me or my grandpa are acousticians, but this treatment just did, like I said, wonders for this room. It deadened it a lot. It just got rid of some of those early reflection points from my listening position, which is really all you need, especially because I'm not doing any sort of like extreme mixing. I just need my room to not be so echoey. So there you have it. That is my current studio setup as of 2026. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments what your favorite part of the tour was, and I appreciate y'all for watching this far into the video. Thanks again for 2,000 subscribers, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.